All right, let's go over our picks, guys. So let's do that here because listen, it's week 12, guys. I can't believe it's week 12
Week
already.
12.
I cannot believe it's week 12.
Week.
It doesn't seem like it at all. It's so much so that Rob left because he can't believe it's week 12. That's how crazy it's gotten here, guys. So the real reason Rob left, though, is because he doesn't want me talking about my victory again. And, that's what it is here. Um, so, yeah, I again beat Rob. I again whooped his butt. Last week, 14 games on the schedule. We got of the 14, he and I did really good in the straight up picks. I had 11, he had 10. So, I mean, guys, both those are over 70%. I take that in a heartbeat. As far as the spread picks, that's where my downfall was. I only had 6 of them. Rob had 8. So I'm still up over my 50% for the year for the spread picks. So I'll take it. Our over unders, I had 8. So that's 57%. I'll take it. Rob had just 5. That's where my difference maker was. On our trifectas, getting the straight up picks, spread picks, and over unders. Rob had 3. I had 2. So close there. In the end, the difference of 1 point last week, guys. That's it. 1 point. That brings my lead on the year to 311 to 305. So I now have a 6-point lead, which is crazy because Rob has barely lost most weeks, to be honest, at that point. But he had that 1 week he had where he had like a 13-point lead on me, and that's basically killed half my lead there. So, and I hear that beeping sound. That means we once again have a Rob.
I came back. Guess who's back?
As I finished talking about my miraculous, amazing victory that I had there last week.
Yeah, somehow that just screwed me out of the internet. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, it was amazing how you the second you started talking about it and you came back. Second, I was done with it. I feel like I should recap that real quick for you. All right, let's get.
You win by 1 point. That's miraculous.
Let's get into our pick show here. Now, where I said we're gonna do this a little different. So we're gonna keep trying to keep this down a little bit on time wise here because we've already been on for almost an hour here. We're gonna do 1 minute for each of us. That's all we get.
Ooh, Drew.
About this game. I know it's going to be hard for me, and I have a stopwatch. I literally have my phone set up to be a stopwatch right now, so I've got it going, guys. So, all right, let's get first up. We already talked about the Thursday night game. We'll see what happens there. We'll go over that with you guys at the end of this too, where we're at currently. We got Chiefs at the Panthers. The Panthers are literally being given 11 points in this, so a touchdown and a field goal and more. And you got an over/under of 43. Now, start the clock here. I'm going to go ahead and say the Chiefs win this game because they're clearly the better team, guys. You got a team that's maybe the best in the NFL going against what may be the worst in the NFL, except for the Giants, of course. 11-point spread, though, guys, is a little crazy to me. The Chiefs have been getting close wins for much of this year. Throw that back to the fact that also the Panthers have actually been playing better since Bryce Young came back from his, benching at that point. Don't get your hopes up, DJ. It's not going to happen for you. But you got the Chiefs. I got the Panthers covering, though the Chiefs will win outright with no problem. They'll win by like a touchdown or by the 10 points by the skin of their teeth. And I'm going to say the over on the points. And I got 15 seconds left, Rob, but I'm giving them up. Go for it.
I agree with you mostly, but listen, the Panthers have been a terrible organization. They gave away a lot of their team, if you will. Bryce Young has been playing better, but he hasn't been playing great. He's just been playing in good scenarios, playing crappy teams. Chiefs got their first loss served to them last week and an upsetting thing. And I think it's a get right. Hey, we just lost. Let's go beat up in the worst team besides the Giants in the NFL. And I think they're going to spank this team. I think it's going to be in the over, and I think it's going to be embarrassing, just like how the Lions beat up on the Jags last week. So, Chiefs over.
All right. You gave up 20 seconds in that too as well. All right. Next up,
Rob. Up next, you got the Vikings going in to play the Bears. The Bears are giving up 3.5 points at home. My God, because they stink.
Well, they're getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
Giving up.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just clarifying, just in case somebody's.
The over-under is 39.5 points in this game.
And go.
Yeah, I don't need that much time. So the Vikings are going to win this game. They're the obvious better team in this. But things seem to be clicking right in Chicago. I do think they're going to cover this. Chicago. I do think they're going to cover this a little bit just because I think Sam Darnold is kind of falling off where he's been. I do think this is going to go in the over. I think they're going to be shooting a little bit more in a divisional game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, but the Vikings win over outright.
All righty. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with you a lot of what you said there, except for I'm not. The Vikings are. Here's what I'm saying: the Vikings aren't what they have been, to start the year. Obviously, I think they have gone down just a little bit of a peg there, but they're still a clearly much better team than the Bears are. I have no faith at this point in the Bears because point blank, when your locker room is basically saying they want the backup quarterback in, that's not a good sign. Even when you're still in the middle of your rookie year, that makes it even a worse sign. It says a lot for Caleb Williams as a leader. So I've got the Vikings to win. I got the Vikings to cover because 3.5 points, I don't think is that big of a difference there. And I have the under because the Vikings are a very good defense. And I think that they're going to do just enough to keep this somewhat close. And even with Darnold maybe taking the step back, like you mentioned, it's still going to be enough to beat that spread, but not enough to beat the over-under there. So I got Vikings under.
Julio.
Next up, we got the Titans at the Texans in the Battle of the T's. No word yet of Earl Gray's joining. We got 7.5 points that is being given up by the Texans. So the Titans are getting just over a touchdown in this. And you got a 40.5 over under there. So, guys, the Texans are so much the better team. It's not even funny. This. If you think the Titans are winning this game, you must know something nobody else knows, basically. But I think the Texans actually beat the spread in this. The Texans are not usually a kick you in the teeth, beat the crud out of you kind of team. But there's just the Titans are going downhill so fast it's not even funny. And suddenly I get the vibe of like a team that legit is tanking and no one's talking about enough is the Titans, So I got the Texans to actually go ahead and cover that spread, and I got the under of the points because the Titans are that bad. So, Rob, what you got?
Titans are a terrible team. They are not tanking though. They're a young team and young coaching staff. And there's a lot of misdirect that's going on over there. Will Levis has been the meme of the week for the first 6 weeks of football, but when he's on, and when he's off, he is way off. Like it's always funny. Obviously, the Texans are the way better team. Yep. CJ Stratho is not playing the same level he was last week. They're playing good defensive football. They're dealing with some injuries, but statistically speaking, these two teams play each other they just are a battle back and forth. I'm taking the Texans to win this game, but I'm taking the Titans to cover this spread here. I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be like something in that 17, even 10 game, which still covers that 7.5 spread. I'm going to go with 17-14, 17-13, but yeah.
Done. You're over. Next up, we got
the Lions going into Indianapolis playing the Colts. The Colts are favored by 7.5 points in this game, or they're given. Sorry. Oh, geez, I'm terrible at this today. The over-under in this game is 50.5 points, and my God, you want to talk about an upset of the week? You want to talk about my game of the week? Let's talk about how the Lions are going to school the Colts. Because guess what? The Lions play great football majority of this year. They're the best team in the NFC by far. The Colts look great with Anthony Richardson, another quarterback that got benched came back. It looked good. Looked great last week. Guess what? Goff has looked great for 8 weeks out of the 10 weeks that he's played. Right? Did he have to buy? Doesn't matter. Go on.
Spanked last week.
What?
They spanked.
I absolutely spanked. But Anthony Richardson looked good last week too. But I don't know if he can repeat that again. I'm going to take the Lions to win. I'm going to take the Lions to cover, and I'm going to take them in the over because they don't let up at all.
Alrighty. So I'm agreeing with you on a decent amount of this whole scenario here. The Lions are going to trash the Colts point blank. Absolutely trash them. And where I differ on you is I think they're going to trash them so bad that it stays at the under, even with them beating the 7.5 point spread. I think this is going to be an absolute level of domination. I think this Lions team is pumped, absolutely pumped, and they're ready to go. And there's just something energy-wise that Dan Campbell is bringing to this team, and it's hard to deny that. I really think this is going to be a statement game for the Lions to do a back-to-back spankings. And yeah, I'm sorry, Colts fans, but you got no shot.
Yeah, but you took the under. Tell me what the score was last week.
I know. I just don't think it's. I think it's a better defense they're facing this week. I really do.
I don't think it's that much better.
And we'll find out. We'll find out. So, all right. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Dolphins, guys. Dolphins are -7 points in this. You got 46 points on the over/under. Let's go. So yeah, guys, Patriots have been playing much better since they put Drake May in. Not quite the same team in any way, shape, or form since they got Jacoby Brissett out of there. But the Dolphins, guys, quietly, before Tua came back, somehow this team figured out a way to play different. They're running the ball more, getting more rushing yards than ever. Their defense started stepping it up. Now they got Tua back. Tua's kind of getting back in the swing of things there. And that takes a little bit of time sometimes when you play that position to come back from your, 10th concussion, whatever that is he's got now at this point there. And
still concussed.
There is something different going on with this. There really is, guys. I feel like the Dolphins, unfortunately, if it wasn't for the Tua issues, probably be a playoff team. I got Dolphins, and over because I think the Dolphins will score that much. Go for it, Rob.
Yeah, I agree with you. Dolphins are going to win this game, but it's also a divisional game where they typically play each other very tough every year, in and out. Drake May has been playing better football as under the rock, under the center for New England, but the bread and butter has been their defense. So I do think that the Fins will win. I don't think they're going to win by a touchdown. I'm going to take the Patriots in the spread, and I'm going to go with the unfavored opinion here. I'm going to go with the under, just because the way that they play each other is so tough all the time. That Tua, like you said, they found a different way to win without him, and it's not by scoring touchdowns. So I'm going to go with the under as well.
All righty.
In the next game, it's our game, guys. The goofball game, if you will. You got the Buccaneers and the Giants playing. Yeah, the Bucs are favored by 6 points.
What's a buck?
What's the Bucs to you, man? And the over on this game is 41.5 points. And let's be real here. This is a tough game to go down in line because there's so many different variables that are going on in this game. And I hate to be the naysay here, but I want to go with the Bucs to win this game, but the Giants to cover. And I do think it's going to go in the over because I think those cutlets, you're not going to get the small, you're not going to get the shorty, but you're going to get the extra large Parmesan.
It's like shorties watching shorties.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to say, guys, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Tommy Kool-Aid. I'm picking the Giants to win. And honestly, part of it is because just talking to some of my buddies that do Bucs content creation, they are not high on this game. They think this is one of those sleeper games that the Bucs are going to lose, that they're expected to beat the team, and just something happens, and it doesn't happen that way. And that's something, Tommy Cutlets.
Is that a little extra Parmesan?
Now, if he bombs and does not look good this week, then I will give up probably betting on the Giants ever again. But I'm going to say the Giants win this game, messing up the draft pick status. They're going to go ahead and cover the spread because they're getting points in this, obviously. So they win outright. They're going to beat the spread, obviously. And I have the over because look at the Bucs. They're doing about 27 points a game. Giants have only been doing about 14 points a game. That puts you right there at the 41 points, guys. Math.
Guess what?
There.
The extra large cutlet sandwich is going to put you right there.
The extra slice of cutlets on the sandwich there. Exactly. gets you over there. So that's what I got. Giants over. All right. So next up, we got the Cowboys at the Commanders in an NFC East matchup that usually nobody wants, but this year we all want. So
it's terrible this year.
It's listen, it is what it is. The Commanders are giving up 10.5 points in this, guys. That's how bad the Cowboys have been. They've been almost as bad as Jerry Jones with a tan. Can you imagine that man with a tan? Like trying to look young and cool.
With the what you call it? Yeah. The little things in the tan bed.
It's bad.
Wrinkled in his
it's bad.
Eye wrinkles, eyelid wrinkles.
His eye wrinkles. His eyeball has wrinkles. But yeah, you got 45 is the over-under. So, guys, again, the Cowboys have been absolute trash. There's no reason to think otherwise at this point. This team, complete malpractice on Jerry Jones' side, what he did this offseason. Unless there's some ulterior motive we might not be aware of this offseason. And I've heard people talk about getting rid of Dak and stuff like that. That makes no sense. Why would you sign him this offseason just to go ahead and cut him the next one if that was the plan? The Commanders, I think, are going to absolutely destroy this team, and we're going to enjoy watching this as a Giants fan. I got DC to win, them to cover, and I got the over because that's just how bad the Cowboys have been. Jaden Daniels is going to have just a great game.
Yeah, you're talking about a veteran quarterback going against a rookie quarterback. Statistically, does not do well. You're also talking about a statistic great defense going against, not such a good defense. It's been playing better in years, but you know what the trump card is? Dan Quinn left the boys and now is in charge of DC kicking some butt. My God.
Yep.
The Commanders are going to win. They're going to crush this game because guess what? They stopped the run, and the boys can't run. The boys can't throw because they're on their Cooper Rush. Actually, are they in their third string? Are they doing a DeVito thing over there?
Well, I don't know. Trey Lance came in at the end of the game last week. My understanding is that Cooper Rush will be starting at quarterback.
Yeah, so the Commanders, Drew and I both said, are the team that's probably going to win this division. And guess what? Dallas is on their way to looking like the Giants of the past 5-10 years.
10 seconds.
So DC in the over.
All righty.
Up next, you got the 4:00 games. You got the Broncos going into the Raiders. The Raiders. The Broncos are favored by 6 points. What?
Of the lost.
Yes. Of the lost.
Should be their new name. The Las Vegas Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, there you go. They should make a casino out of that.
Picture the guys coming out of the tunnel. Dun, 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 dun.
On whip, what you call it? Lassos.
It's like something out of my wedding.
Yeah.
Those are joke, by the way. The groomsmen, which Rob was one of them, literally came down the aisle to the Indiana Jones theme song as the wedding starting.
He's not wrong. It's 100% right.
We did do it.
It was fantastic.
Listen, marriage is an adventure. Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So the Broncos are 6-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 41 points. Divisional rivalry game, guys. This is going to be a fun matchup. The Raiders always play the Broncos tough, but the Broncos came up. Bo Nix is probably if it's a Heisman Trophy of MVPs, he's on the stage. He's not winning it, but he's on stage with the rookie MVPs going into this because they are squeezing juice out of him right now, and he's getting some good yards, good touchdowns. Is he the best? No, but MVP category because they're squeezing the juice. Yeah, you can talk that. So I'm taking the Broncos to win this game. I'm taking the Broncos to cover this. I'm also taking the over in this just because look at that spanking they put
Raiders in the sheet. You want Broncos or you want Raiders?
I want the Broncos.
Changing up your pick here, Mr. Anonymous Hamster. This week you are Anonymous Hamster. I love how Google does that. But all right. Anyway, what's your over under?
I said the over.
There we go. So you want to be a little bit different on this one here.
A lot of it different.
Because no. We both got the Broncos to win. We both got the Broncos to cover. I'm with you on a lot of it there. I got the under because I just think the Raiders will just do that bad in offense that you're going to somehow get just below that 41 points there. Just my own personal opinion there. We'll see if I'm right. All right, next up, we got the 49ers at the Packers. What could be a very good game here starting off here, the 425 slot. Packers are a 2.5 point favorite in this. You got a 47.5 on the over, sorry. Giving my cards here. So, yeah, I got the Packers to win, guys. Listen, the 49ers looked really bad last week, and obviously, every so often these have a bad game, and that's fine. Every team has them. As the Giants, we had them on a weekly basis. But, every so often, when we get off that, you look better the next week, but there's still a little bit of that stink left on you at that point from the prior week. And I think that's what's going to happen in a very key matchup there with the Packers. It'll be a close game, but 2.5 points, guys, is not enough to me, close enough for me to change my bet. Now, if it was over 3 points, it was more than a field goal, I might consider that. Most games are not going to be won or lost within a point or two. And then, so I'm going to pick the Packers there, and I'm going to go the under because the Packers defense has been doing pretty decent. Obviously, San Francisco traditionally has a good defense there, and he's still got some guys missing there in that offense. So Packers under.
I 100% agree with you. This is a trifecta. Might be the best bet of the week. I'm going to put this in there because, you know what? Specifically speaking, the Niners are the better team. But Green Bay is one. It is Thanksgiving week. They're the first Friday about Thanksgiving is when they go hot in Lambeau. They're like, oh, let's go hunting. Let's go ice fishing. Lambeau time. Let's go. And know what happened in San Francisco? They lost Bosa last week, and that's why they lost the game. And the Bosa left in the third quarter. You know what they had? You know what they had point wise when Bosa was in the game? 6 points. You know what happened when they left? Or not the Niners, but when they were playing against after the injury, the defense let up 14 points. You know what yards per play they gave up in the first 3 quarters was 3.6. You know what they let up after Bosa left the game? 6.2. So what you're telling me is that defense fell off after Nick Bosa left. They got key injuries on offense that they've been battling with all year. The Packers are starting to come to. Their defense is looking great. On the borderline of great. And their offense is doing enough to click through. I think this is a rematch of last playoff game they had against each other. I think Packers win. Playoffs! I think Packers win, Packers cover, and I think it's in the under because they're not going to put enough points against each other. Still enough respect to the defenses there.
All righty.
Up next, another 425 game, another great game. Another playoff potential team. Playoffs. And it's also about the number one seed in the NFC West. Is no one's talking about here because it's been very quiet.
Very quiet. Very division.
Yeah. You talk about this right now. Like, one team wins, they're in first place. One team loses. That was a 4-way tie. Really close. So you got the Cardinals going into Seattle. Seattle is they're getting 1 point in this game, which is crazy. And the over-under is 47.5 points. Seattle's coming off a great win. The Cards are also playing sneaky good football.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyler Murray is also, I just said it before about Bo Nix, but Kyler Murray is awesome. If you're talking about Heisman Trophy of the Year, he's not going to win it.
Trophy.
He's not going to win it, but he's going to be the guy on stage looking like, oh man, I was kind of close, but I was playing Xbox too much.
There should be an exceeding expectations award.
Yeah. That he won. And he was his game. He puts the Cardinals in the first place in the division.
There must not be a new video game for a while or something, or
must be. But I'm taking the Cardinals to win this game, and that point difference just I don't know how you lose by half a point or win by half a point. It's a push at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Cards to win, Cards to cover, and I'm taking the under because I think it's going to be a surprisingly more defensive game in this division rival game. It's going to get close to that over-under marker, but I think it's going to be like that, like 19-21. Give me 40 points.
Good year.
Ooh. Actually, it wasn't. Depending on where you lived.
Not for a lot of people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's, I mean, a lot of what you said there, I'm going to go with this being the same. I mean, listen, the Cardinals been sneaky good. Kyler Murray's been sneaky good this year. I think you're definitely 100% right. All that stuff there. My main difference I'm going to have with you is your over-under part. I look at it this way. The Giants scored 29 points on the Seattle defense. If the Giants
beat up Seattle,
I get it, but the Giants can score 29 points. There is no reason for me to think that the Cardinals can't score similar, even with a healthy defense, because they're a better offense than the Giants are by far. Then you throw in the fact that you got the Seahawks, who do put up some points on offense themselves, and this one is screaming over to me all day long. So I'm going Cardinals over.
I took it as a trap when I came to that, but that's fine. It's cool. Whatever. Sunday Night Football. Let's go.
Sunday night.
Night.
Bird to the next here with the Eagles at the Rams, guys. The Rams are getting 3 points in this matchup, and they got a 49-point over-under. Guys, listen, I say all the time, I will give you my honest opinion, and I will try not to be biased towards anybody because of my Giant fandom. I don't necessarily like the Eagles this year. Don't get me wrong. I think they've definitely taken a step back. But they're still better in my mind than the Rams, who have also kind of taken a little bit of a step back this year as well. So I got Rams, because 3 points is not going to be enough to go ahead and change me. But I also got over. Something just tells me this is going to be a really high-scoring game here. So I'm going Rams over.
Oh, so you better change your notes because you totally have Eagles Rams over.
Oh my God, that's what I meant. Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles. I typed out, just like you did before. Eagles. I'm reading the wrong. That's why I read there, and I'm like Rams over. No, Eagles.
No, I'm Rams. Not to give up my spot there.
Listen, I worked a 12-hour shift at work today. Leave me alone, goddammit.
Jeez.
But yeah,
anyway,
like I said, I think the Eagles, and the over.
Listen, the Eagles are both teams are a house of cards what they were years prior.
Yeah, great match.
Everyone's forgetting about the injuries that were on the Rams at the beginning of the year when they lost the first, when they went 1-5, whatever it was. They have a lot of injuries.
Yep.
But people are coming back. They're playing better football. I think they're 4-1 in the past 5 games. Like they've been playing good football. And then you got the Eagles, who are also playing better football. Let me not front that. Like they started off weak this year, and they are also, I think, 4-1. Or similar to that, 3-2. Like they're playing good football.
Yep. 4-1, by the way, for the Rams. You're right. The one loss in that time period is to the Dolphins.
Yeah. Which Tyreek Hill had a great game that time. So they're both playing great football. I think the Rams are going to squeak it out. They're at home. They have been, on paper, the better team in those wins that it had. The Eagles are still playing close wins, and they're still squeaking it out, but they're not just finding some of those wins. That the Rams are playing better competition in those wins.
Yeah.
I do agree. It's going to be an over. It's going to be a fun game. If you're going to bet this game, go with the over.
It's one thing we agree on. So,
yeah.
All right. Next
Monday Night Football. Let's effing go. It's the hardball Super Bowl, unless they actually go to the AFC Championship, but that's probably going to happen. You got the Ravens going into LA playing the Chargers. The Chargers are 3-point underdogs in this. So, at home, respect on Lamar and the history that Baltimore team has had. The over-under is 51 points. My God, this game is El Paso. This is going to be a fun, exciting game to watch. But if I'm going to have to bet, which I'm going to have to bet on this podcast, I am taking the Chargers to win. I'm going to bet a hardball-led team is going to win this game.
Harbaugh wins.
Harbaugh wins. Now, I'm taking the Chargers. Listen, the Chargers are actually, on paper, the better team. The Chargers are doing exactly what the Ravens have been doing this past year, the past few years, just a little better. Like, if you look at 172, 173, like, can you argue which one's better? I guess you got it percentage-wise there. But I'm actually taking the Chargers to win. I'm taking the cover. I'm taking the under because I do think both these teams, as much as they can score points, I think it's going to be a slow, methodical game. I think it's going to be one of those run, big pass, run, big pass, run the clock, pass, and back forth. This is going to be a defensive battle game at the end of the day.
I'm not so sure in that. I'm really not.
How many games have Herbert thrown over 250 yards? And how many games have Lamar Jackson thrown over 250 yards?
It's not a matter of that. Here's what I'm looking at in this whole thing. So the Chargers have the number one scoring defense in the league, 14.5 points per game. The Ravens have the second best scoring offense at 30.4 points per game. So I think there's still going to be some points put up. It just may not be the 30 that they usually get on their end at that point. But if they can do, let's say, 27, for example, then you're already more than halfway there. And it's going to be a close game. It's going to be. Like, there's no doubt in my mind on that one. But I do think it's going to be more than the 3-point difference. I got the Ravens to win this, guys. So John Harbaugh is 2-0 against his brother in their NFL careers. Lamar Jackson is 5-1 in Monday Night Football road games in his career. And that's not just straight up. That's also against the spread, by the way. There's something about this game that I think that the Harbaughs care more than they want to admit. There's something about beating your brother, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a brother to beat, and when you have sisters and you can't beat women. So, I feel like this is going to be something that you're going to see some really good football because both teams love their coaches. You haven't heard any negativity out of John Harbaugh either at that point. Either he's kind of a schmuck, I think. But I just something tells me that John Harbaugh, just does his thing, and this team does just enough to win by like 5 points or so. Nothing crazy, but I got Ravens to win it. So Ravens over.
Good to see you.
All righty, guys. So that's our picks for the week here. We'll let you guys know on our recap on Monday how much I beat Rob by. So
-3.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.